Hey guys, Mistmaster1 here, and welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts Funimix HD Proud Level 1. In the last episode, we finished off the Hades Cup, got through all 50 seeds. We have prevailed as the Coliseum Champions. We have our nice little Hades Cup Championship trophy to acknowledge that. And in this episode, we are going to finally take on, or start to take on the super bosses that this game has to offer. So, first things first, you want to make sure that you need to, in order to take on this next fight that we're going to be doing, you need to have the Phil Cup, the Pegasus Cup plaque, the Hercules Cup trophy, and the Hades Cup trophy, signifying that you have cleared out every single cup that this place has to offer. And once you've had that all settled out, you will have this little fight right here, right below Hades Cup, that is now available. Before we do that though, just a few things to note. Actually, while I'm here, let me customize Aroga. I mean, that might sound a little crazy because of what I'm going to be doing, but I'll explain soon, don't worry about it. Firaga, Kiraga, Aroga, whatever, you can have Thundaga available if you really want to, but I wouldn't advise that. What do I really want to get to the main point of? Oh yeah. Make sure you have 3 elixirs on you for pretty much every super boss we'll be fighting in this project. We only have like 10 videos left or so, so we're getting near the end. We're doing a lot of what would be considered post-game stuff now, but I mean, whatever, it doesn't really make that big of a deal. Yeah, make sure you have 3 elixirs, make sure you're all set up, make sure you have everything that you'd want. The only real ability that you want to have is the Super Glide Shirt ability and the Dodge Roll mechanic, and of course EXP 0 if you're playing level 1. Now that all of that is said and done, this is the gold match and this is the platinum match. I'm kind of sort of spoiling that a little bit. Basically, the gold match, not as difficult as this match right here. We will be taking on both of them eventually, but it is time for our first super boss of the game. Let's get going. We have entered the arena once again, but you'll notice the entire stage has been cleared out. There's no stage, really, there's just sidelines, and what is that? Pair of icy hands, and our first super boss of the game. This is Ice Titan. And this guy is not to be messed with at all. He is very challenging, especially at level 1. First things first, before you even do anything, get off to the sidelines to give yourself more of a sort of perspective on how you want to fight this guy. He can move around like this. If you stay down on the sort of center part of the field there, he'll create those little shockwaves that damage you. He'll have a little swiping arm attack that does hit you if you're too close to it. He'll have these little crystals that come out of the ground when he puts his hand in the ground, and of course has the little ice shards that orbit around you, and they're kind of heat-seeking. Yeah, heat-seeking ice, how about that? And pretty much your main gimmick for this fight, if I could, you know, not just eat it and, you know, die right off the bat, is you want to reflect these little crystals back at him like so. After a set amount of crystals have, in fact, hit the Ice Titan, he will topple over and it'll give you a chance for a lot more damage. But every time you do reflect the ice crystals back at him, you are doing some type of damage. Also, I'm going to avoid the crystals for the time being. I'm just going to fly around here, don't mind me. For this particular super boss and the other super boss that is in this area, the damage scaling has changed a little bit from the cups, where we could take 3 hits before we have to heal, down to 2 hits before we have to heal. You can only take 2 hits from this guy at full health before you are at the limit, where you will die in your next little sort of attack that connects with you. And you just have to be really, really attentive to all of your surroundings for this fight and pretty much every other boss fight we'll be tackling onward. Now, you might be thinking, is there really no better way to confront this guy than what I'm doing currently? And by that I mean, you know, just swinging my Keyblade to attack and parrying them the normal way. Why don't I just use Aroga or something else? If you aren't playing at level 1, you will, by this point, regardless of your ability path, you will have the guard sort of ability that you get through leveling in a normal playthrough of this game. That is how 99% of people fight this guy, because a lot of people who do level 1 just say screw this guy in general, or they don't even remotely make it this far. Well, here's the thing. We don't have that ability because we're level 1, and we have no other better option than to just do our regular parrying attacks back at him. You know, when the crystals connect, wait for the right timing, do the right swipe. Do not use Aroga to parry the crystals. I will bring up the point again soon once we get into like another little phase of this fight. Just take my word for it, do not cast Aroga right now, it will not work. You have to reflect these the manual way if you were playing level 1. There are particular formations you want to look out for when you are fighting this guy, such as the crystal patterns that he shoots out, like the little ice shards. There's one where they all kind of gather in the center. Like, you see how that set of 3 right there towards the end, they were all, like, from all the other sides. This one right here, where the 5 of them gather from the sidelines and kind of get to the epicenter of the whole not really explosion, but just the overall impact of the thing. Well, that's the whole... that's the best wave that you can go for, because he'll do a little sideways swipe where he can pretty much hit them all if you time them right, but if your positioning is also extremely important, so you actually connect with the hits. It's very hard to go into extreme detail, nice voice crack, as to exactly what you have to go through in order to make sure every hit connects, because regardless if you do connect some of the crystals or not, some of them, like that one just now, will completely fly over him and won't connect at all, and that's just something about this fight you're going to have to deal with. But eventually, your hard work is going to pay off once he will topple over after a few more crystals. Like, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 more crystals, he should be toppled over. And if not, then I'm really, really going slow for this beginning portion right here. Okay, missed that right there. I kind of get to the side, if you notice, of those, just so I have the chance of, what's it called? Connecting with a sort of side slash. You can just get a little vertical slash off like that and it gets the job done, but his side slash covers more distance, obviously. It's better for the overall effect, like so. And really, you just want to be super evasive and super attentive to what's going on. And really, nothing else to explain about this first phase. I'm just trying to wait it out, be very patient, wait for the right moment like so to initiate a little side swipe, just a regular attack to actually knock him down. And that is everything I have to say about this first phase, so now all I'm doing is just waiting this fight out until I eventually knock him down. I probably haven't been doing the best of jobs with that, obviously, because I should have him knocked down by now. Okay, this is getting a little hectic. Let me get out and heal really quick. Okay, now let's jump around and loop back around so we can avoid those ice crystals. I'd really appreciate if we could knock this guy down. There we go. I'm going to cast Aroga just to get some extra damage in, but you are going to see why very soon, why you should not have Aroga up for this fight, because this game, the people who made this game were aware of the type of fight they were making, where they really focused on reflecting the targets, and Aroga would cheese that under normal circumstances, so to buff this guy, he shoots these ginormous frost shards that are impossible to reflect back at him while Arrow is active, so you cannot rely on Aroga to simply just cheese the entire fight for you. So that's just a quick reasoning why you shouldn't use that. We have now entered a phase where he is starting to spread little snow on the ground and has these little ice crystals that fall from the ceiling, along with all the other attacks he is currently doing. Super Glide and Dodge Roll are your best friends here for getting out of the way, but ultimately you're gonna have to just rinse and repeat the same sort of tactic over and over again in order... I guess that's a bit redundant to say, but I mean, you get my idea. You just have to be really patient and wait it out. There's nothing else you can really do. You have to fight this guy in a very specific way. I might get caught in that. Okay, good. While that ice is on the ground right there, you can actually slip on it and you will take damage, so do your best to avoid that at all costs. Get in damage, reflect those things whenever you can. Some instances where it's really difficult to, don't go for it. Wait it out when the time is right and there's nothing really hectic going on. It's kind of hard to find a time when things aren't hectic, because there's always something happening in this fight, whether it's from you, whether it's from Ice Titan, just anything at all. But thankfully, now that I've explained the basic premise of how this fight works, all I have to do is just focus on surviving and explain one other thing that this guy can do in his final phase, because he is in his second phase right now, and there's one particular attack he will not use until he has entered his third phase, much like a lot of the other enemies in this game who have very specific phases once their HP is at a specific amount. Alright, let's see if maybe we can knock him down with that. No, that's fine. No, actually, let me heal really quick. Oh, crap, okay. I may just use an elixir to... what's it called? Yeah, I'm just gonna throw an elixir here. I'm gonna tank this little hit. Okay, that was just BS, dude. I was expecting the little crystal to hit me, but it didn't, so I ended up wasting kind of an MP, whatever. If you're adventurous, you can use an aerial attack like that. I would not advise it. It's more difficult to time. And, yeah, just wait the fight out until you have ample time to strike. Waves like that, where it sets a 5 you really want to go for. Let's get Aroga off again just for some extra damage, like so. Make the fight go by a little bit quicker. You can skip certain phases of this guy if you're really, really fast, like that. You are going to have to do some juking of giant crystals while Arrow is active, but it is worth it for the extra damage that you can get off. I've been fighting this guy for 10 minutes and I'm only at his 3rd phase. I mean, this is his last phase, so that's a good thing. But remember certain fights that we've had to fight in this game so far? And just to see the difference, it's basically night and day in terms of difficulty. Okay, now the crystals have worn off, but now he will start to use a different attack because I am certain we've entered his next little phase here. He will also shoot little crystals and little ice balls from the ceiling while he maneuvers around. Now, if you're trying to run away and play really defensive, he is now given another quality to make his attacks even more lethal than they were previously. Right here, you'll see this. He'll kind of just flail his arms a bit, and then he'll cast a little ice spell, and if you're in the sort of area where that ice spell just initiates, you will get frozen, and you can potentially get stun locked until you die. So you really need to be careful here. It's kind of hard to predict when exactly he's going to do it, because it's sort of random. He will do it after very specific attacks, like when he throws crystals at you, which is really annoying, because you're going to want to go in for a little attack, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, oh no, I'm just going to freeze you, and you can easily die if you're not expecting it. So, again, the whole patience factor increases tenfold once you reach his final phase. Just go in for attacks when you know for a fact you aren't really in much danger. And honestly, slow and steady wins the race in this whole little thing, so don't worry about that. He's going to do the thing, so get out of here. Super Glide is your best friend for avoiding things like that, as you can travel great distances very quickly. And if this keeps up, we should be able to finish him off without too much more difficulty. Like, yeah. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just trying to focus and not die. Oh god. Oh, if you're caught like that, that can happen. You gotta be really careful. I'm gonna wait for that to go through. Now heal. You really have to pick your moments to heal very carefully, because ice crystals rain down. You have regular crystals in front of you. He'll have ice crystals coming from the ground. All kinds of crazy stuff. And now, of course, with his new little mechanic of just flat out... what's it called? Oh, crap. Okay, let's focus. Let's run away. Please don't hit me with that. Okay, now let's use a heal. You see, it's really, really important you pay great attention to what's going on. You can easily get taken out if you're not paying attention to even the smallest detail right there. Like, see, I almost just lost this entire fight for not paying attention to one specific thing. Okay, he might get me here. That's fine. If you are in the air when that attack connects, it will knock you out and will just really perceive a much more difficult fight, because you'll get stun locked a lot more easily. I probably shouldn't have done that case of a Roger right there. Oh no, it worked out! We won! Okay, thank God. We finally made it. And that was Ice Titan, a really adventurous fight, but we made it. That was pretty tough, man. Ha! Who's the mighty one now, small fry? Step on him! Aw, man. And he retreats like a little sissy. There we go, guys. We have defeated Ice Titan.
Take that.
And for defeating Ice Titan, we get the best weapon in the game for level 1, the Diamond Dust Keyblade. This weapon now solidifies all the equipment and all the stuff we are going to need to finally go through with Synthesis, because, prepare yourself, Diamond Dust is the only Keyblade in the game that is like this. Lady Luck and Spellbinder have raised our MP by 2. Diamond Dust raises our max MP by 3, and we now have ourselves 10 MP, the most amount of MP we can possibly have under the normal circumstances of a level 1 playthrough. So there we go. We now have max level magic aside from the Stop spell. We have Stop Ra instead of Stop Raga, but that's not going to make a big difference in terms of synthesis stuff. Everything else has been maxed out. We have ourselves the Diamond Dust Keyblade, which gives us 3 MP, the Royal Crown, which gives us 2 MP, and the Shiva Belt, which also gives us 2 MP. Along with the fact we picked the staff at the beginning of the game, we now have a total of 10 MP at our disposal, and we can pretty much take on anything in the game at this point with the amount of MP that we have. I mean, we could already have taken on a lot of things with just 8 MP, but now that we have 10 MP and we are at our strongest possible point for our magic and all that stuff, we're pretty much set to go. Yes, I am aware there's another boss fight in there that people are really looking forward towards, but I will have to say that's going to be for another time. There's still a few more things in this game I want to do before we take on that guy, because I feel like it'd be appropriate if we leave him close to the end. I'm going to do him as the second last super boss of the game, and the last one being, well, you'll find out later. One thing I forgot to make a note of in the last episode, now that you have defeated the Hades Cup, this little purple urn will be in the back, like behind these sort of columns on the right side here of the Colosseum gates, and you can examine it. This is a one-time only thing, but you can find yourself the final orichalcum of the game outside of purchasing them from the store, so there we go. Now if we check our inventory, we now have 19 orichalcums, which is exactly the amount we need to actually synthesize every single item in the game now. You could buy them from the store if there's certain ones like from the clock tower that you missed out on and you just don't want to wait the extra time. Plus, there's actually a super boss now in Neverland that has arrived since we have completed the first events of Hollow Bastion. But we're going to sell that for another time. We now have everything that I personally want before we get into synthesis grinding. And that's going to do it for now. We will be back here one last time to take on the other super boss that's here. But now that Ice Titan has been defeated, we have ourselves the Diamond Dust Keyblade, the Royal Crown, the Shiva Belt, all the amount of MP that we can possibly have to really make our synthesis grinding all the more easier. All our magic is leveled up, all that good stuff. I am going to dock here in the accessory shop of Traverse Town really quick and end the video off in the item workshop, because that's where the next video is going to start off. It's kind of hard to believe this marks the 50th episode of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD. I'm kind of doing a brief, like, pre-farewell, but that's not quite the case. But yeah, we now have everything in our possession to finally synthesize all the stuff and do this ginormous side quest throughout the game. And we will tackle that next time in a really editing-intensive video that will showcase everything you need to know about synthesis next time on Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD Proud Level 1. So, thank you all for watching. I have been Mr.Master1, this has been episode 50, and in the next episode, we take on the ultimate side quest of the game, which is synthesis farming. So, thank you all again for watching, and I hope to see you all join me for one of the most edited videos I've ever had to do. See you then. Donald, stop it. Thank you.